Hello everyone, today I'm going to go over the relics which have just been released. I'm going to go over them all. Enjoy the ride. Okay, so I'm not going to go over tier 1, we did that in a previous video. I'm going to start from tier 2 onwards. Fairies Flight. Now this is a relic that gives you a mushroom which allows you to teleport to any fairy ring or spirit tree. This is huge. You can go from a bank to any fairy ring on the map. So things like the, off the top of my head, Fremnik Slayer Cave, the Canifis Slayer Dungeon, the Abyssal area for getting an early whip. This is huge for that kind of content. Additionally, with a spirit tree, you can traverse around the map, you can go on farming runs, do better farming, and it can even act as like a quick teleport back to like the Grand Exchange. It's very close to a bank, for example. So I think this is going to be very important for those quick bank trips and getting back to those Slayer destinations and just getting to those remote little areas that are kind of out of the way. Very nice for that. So the next one, Eternal Jeweler. With this, you're giving a range of jewelry. That is the Ring of Dueling, Ring of Returning, Ring of Wealth, Games Necklace, Skills Necklace, and the Necklace of Passage. And in addition to that, you've got the Amulet of Glory, the Master Clue Book, the Slayer Ring, the Dig Site Pendant, that's going to be big, and the Combat Bracelet. These do not run out of charges once you've taken this relic. That is huge. Think about all of those teleports. Dig Site Pendant, Birdhouse runs, infinite Birdhouse runs. You need one pendant, and you get it free. This is huge for that content. So already I'm thinking this is big. This is the one I might take. It does take up an inventory slot. You get each individual item, so it's not like an omni jewelry or something. It's each individual item. So there's a little downside, but it's eternal. It's like an eternal glory. So the last one's Last Recall. This is weird. You're given something called the Crystal of Memories, and it allows you to return back to where you most recently teleported. Now, for me, I'm thinking, what can I do with this? Now think about this. Say you're doing, I don't know, say you're doing the ZMI runecrafting. You teleport just outside of that bank. You know, the bank you have to pay runes for? And you just teleport somewhere. It doesn't matter where, teleport to Ardoin. You walk back, you do ZMI. If you click the last recall, you zip back to the bank. You no longer have to use, like, the lunar teleports. You no longer have to run back. You can just keep zipping back. It doesn't say anything about a cooldown on this, or cost. You can just zip back. This is huge. It will cut that time down massively, and that can be used for a variety of things. This is a big relic for efficiency, and if you know how to use it and you have thoughts in your head how to use it, I'd recommend going for this one because it's one item and it could make bank trips and going back and forth places really good. So next we have the tier 3 relics. Now these combat relics are apparently massive. Looking at them, they are insane. Let's talk about Quickshot. So the attack speed of all ranged weapons are halved. And this is rounded up, but halved. That is insane. Additionally, they have a 10% damage bonus and a 100% accuracy bonus against NPCs and 50% against players. And it acts kind of like a increased Ava's device. 90% of all ammunition is saved. This is massive. Like, very fast, very accurate ranged weapons. This will make PVM a breeze. You could start doing high level PVM with really low level gear. So range is already pretty powerful. If you somehow can get the darts and everything for a toxic blowpipe, that's crazy. What's that, a 2 tick? Maybe a 1? I'm not even sure. The calculations have to be done, but this is crazy strong. And then it goes similarly with melee. So you have fluid strikes for the melee thing. Same thing, melee halved. So a scimitar, which is usually a 4-tick weapon, becomes a 2-tick weapon. Twice as fast. And you get 25% extra accuracy on the melee attacks, and players will take 15% less damage, so it's a tank as well. Again, this is huge. And whilst you have this, your hit points do regenerate 4 times normal. So twice the amount of rapid heal, and that's always. So again, you can see the increase of this. Having a really fast weapon like a scimitar or a whip hits twice as quickly, literally more than doubling your DPS with the accuracy increases. You're taking less damage. If you're going to eventually get like the bludgeon, historically not the quickest weapon, but you're going for the nightmare, this is really good. The bludgeon's suddenly a quick weapon. It's absolutely crazy. And finally, you have double cast. The attack speed of all magic casting is halved. They also have 125% extra accuracy, just insanity. And you also save 90% of all runes. That's crazy strong. That's crazy strong. Suddenly the desert with ancients, you're saving 90% of all the runes when you're casting ancient spells, and they're twice as quick. Can you even die if you're using Blood Barrage? Let's go on to tier 4 quickly. The combat ones, there's not a whole lot to say about them. They're incredibly strong. It's just depending on what path you're going on. Tier 4 now. First, Treasureseeker. Now, this is the clue scroll relic. So NPCs have a 1 in 20 chance to drop a clue scroll. That's if they already drop them. And things like geodes, nests, and anything that clue scrolls can be a part of are 10 times more frequent. All unstarted clue scrolls are stackable as well as boxes. And every clue scroll will have the lowest steps. All beginners will have 1. All mediums will have 3 steps. If you want to go clue scrolls, this is really big for you. And once again, another returning relic is Unnatural Selection. There's only 2 relics in tier 4, Treasureseeker and Unnatural Selection. Unnatural Selection basically means you can choose the Slayer assignment you want as long as you have the level to do it. And also, superior Slayer monsters have now a 1 in 25 chance of appearing. That's pretty big for getting those Slayer uniques. And on top of the 1 in 25, they also roll their drop table 6 times. So that's a whole heck of a lot more drops from them. Now, tier 5 is the skilling tier. Now, there are 3 relics in this. One of them was revealed a little while ago. That was Equilibrium. I'll start with that because we know already a little bit about it. So with Equilibrium, every time you gain experience, you also gain 10% of your total level in experience in that skill. And additional experience with this is not multiplied by the league modifiers. You're not getting 10% times 16 at the end. You're just getting that 10% flat bonus. So the highest you can get is like 227. Now, that's pretty big, especially with these halved relics. So you're doing, say, knives are now 1 tick, I think, at Rabid. With the halved speed, I think they 1 tick. So you're getting 200 range XP minimum with every knife throw. 200 range XP every single tick minimum if you take Production Master at a high level total. The other relics in tier 5, you have Botanist. So farming ticks, which are usually every 5 minutes and now every 1. Farming is suddenly very fast. So resources harvested as well are times by 2. You don't get additional experience, but that doesn't really matter. When you're going on herb runs and you're getting twice as many herbs, that is crazy. Instead of like 10 Ranas, you're now getting 20. Instead of that like 15 godly Snapdragon, that's the norm. Your herbs are sorted if you take Botanist. Additionally, it also helps potions out. So potions will always be a 4 dose and you have a 95% chance, which is crazy, of saving your secondary ingredient. Also, any stats boosted will not drain over time. Absolutely insane. And finally on tier 5 you have Infernal Gathering. This gives you 3 tools, the Trailblazer tools. So it gives you the Trailblazer Harpoon, the Trailblazer Axe, and the Trailblazer Pickaxe. Now these do basically what the Infernal tools do. When you're using the axe, logs are burnt. When you're using the pickaxe, if applicable, the ore you mined will be smelted into bars. And just to note, this doesn't depend on your smithing level to smelt. So if you have level 85 mining and level 1 smithing and you mine rune, you can still smelt runite, which crazy. And finally, the harpoon is, as you expect, any fish you catch will be cooked. Tier 6 is the final tier and is another combat tier. First up is Draining Strikes. All attacks have a 10% accuracy bonus and 10% increased damage. Now this includes everything from the previous combat relics. And every single successful hit, remember you're hitting twice as quickly, has a 50% chance to restore your life and your prayer points by 10% of the damage dealt. So in retrospect, every single hit is a 2.5% heal. That's pretty good. Just a note, it doesn't work with multi-target things, so Chin Chompers doesn't like stack, you don't get from everything, but the Scythe, that multi-hit, you do. So I'm seeing Draining Strikes kind of a really good way of sustaining things. You can stay at monsters a lot longer. It'll help you save on food, save on potions, that kind of thing. It's just good for that longevity of your training. Just so I'm not repeating myself as well, every single relic on here has the 10% increased accuracy and damage, so just assume that going forward. Exploding attacks is the second one. Now all attacks, and remember I'm saying all attacks, this isn't just range, this isn't just melee, this isn't just mage. This is all attacks will hit 5 additional targets. And those 5 additional targets takes the same damage as the primary, which is crazy. Everything becomes a chin now. And same thing as before, multi-attacks don't hit multiple, Scythe does. And finally, Weapon Specialist. Now the Weapon Specialist means... weapon specialist. This is all about your special attacks. So your special energy regenerates 3 times faster at 30% per 30 seconds instead of 10. Every special attack now costs a maximum of 20%. So things like the God War specs now cost 20%. You can use them 5 times, which is huge. And they regenerate more than 20% every 30 seconds. You're going to be using them constantly. So out of those 3, the thing I would pick personally is exploding attacks. I think the training is going to be great for it. The longevity and the prayer and everything for that, for the first one, is great, and it could help with bosses. But honestly, crowd control is so good, especially if you're in melee. Crowd control is so hard to come by. Fast farming with the exploding attacks is going to be so big. It's all up to yourselves, but that's my personal opinion for tier 6. I'm so excited for this. I think you can tell. I'm non-stop speaking. This is going to be a fantastic leagues. There's all the tasks have been released as well. I'm not going to do a video on them because there's so many of them. But I hope this helped with the relics, just outlining them, kind of giving some thoughts. I'll see you in the leagues, guys. I'll be on Twitch streaming and Mr. Ashley D. I'll see you then.